experience, this is especially important in smaller groups.
Yeah.
You might think, it might seem like it would stand to reason that this would be really important in a really big barony. But no, it's the small groups where this is really an issue, because everybody's used to just being buddies and they can just come and go as they please, do whatever they want, hang out, and you gotta tell them, hey, look, this is not just for us, this is a baronial level event. There's going to be other people from other groups there. You got to be on your A game today. You got to be on time, and make sure that they really understand what is expected, because usually that's really where the anxiety comes from, is that they don't know exactly what is expected of them, and so they're never going to give you the results that you're looking for, and then they'll be upset because they didn't know what to expect. You'll be upset because they didn't perform as expected, and the whole populace will be upset that the event ended up with a major snag instead of coming off nice and easy like it should.
It definitely is no fun when you show up at an event at 9 because that's the start time, and at 11 o'clock the event actually starts because you're waiting for all the event planners to actually arrive and do what they were supposed to do to get the event prepared by 9.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in some of our past.
It's really kind of a thankless thing, autocratting events, because the thing is, people don't seem to notice when an event goes perfectly, flawlessly. But everybody notices when an event doesn't go well. So, the thing is, the most important thing on the day of the event is just to keep a cool head, stay calm. Remember, it's supposed to be fun, okay? This is our hobby. It's supposed to be fun. And so just kind of, try to make your rounds, keep an eye on people, and just check in and see at the troll table or troll tent, is that person that's supposed to be running troll? Do they have it under control, or are they running around ripping their hair out? Drop by the fighting area and see, are the fighters armoring up? Are the marshals doing their inspections and all that stuff? Is everything going the way it should, or does something look out of place? And the biggest thing is, between the autocrat and the seneschal, the both of you have to just kind of walk around and look around and see, is there anything that looks out of place? If it looks wrong, it is wrong. And if you don't fix it, nobody else will. So, don't let that frazzle you. Don't feel like it's the weight of the world, because it's not.
You see all these gray hairs? That's October Cornet.
That's right. It's not the weight of the world, and it's not that the whole world is going to come crushing down on you if this event doesn't go really smoothly. It's the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. The main thing is making sure that everybody is staying safe and having a good time, and remembering that it's supposed to be fun.
Yes. So now we are down to the last week prior to your event. So this is the time to go back and confirm or reconfirm or reconfirm that yes, you have the event location that you paid for, put a deposit on, or whatever. That yes, everything is still okay with that event. If it's an event where you have ordered tables and chairs or tents or whatever that extra stuff is, again, confirm or reconfirm that yes, you are in fact getting the 50 chairs that you wanted and not 5 this coming Saturday. Again, take time to go back over responsibilities with the event staff. So what time are they supposed to be there the day of? But also if they're bringing stuff, because it's hard to have a tournament if nobody shows up with the area. If you think the marshal's bringing it and the marshal thinks it's in the back of the seneschal's car, and the seneschal thinks that the autocrat has it, and then you guys all show up at some remote camping location and nobody has it, well then you're not going to have a tournament because you can't rope off the fighting area. So things like that, you want to make sure that not just that you've talked about it, but as autocrat, write it down. Write it down, who's responsible for what, who's going to be bringing what supplies, and then share that information out. Send it out over Yahoo group if that's what you use. Send it out over Facebook. Hey, don't forget to bring broke for Saturday. Email, however your group is communicating, just, I think that it may be annoying, but I think that it is hard to over communicate to your event staff for an event. I think that, you know, sending out lists and little checklists and things of who's responsible for what, that's not going to hurt anybody, and you know, at least that way everybody's on the same page. Hopefully people would know.
Yeah, most importantly, I mean, again, you really want to be clear about what your expectations are of other people and what are they going to need, and how can you help them better prepare for this event, because you're, you know, just because you're the autocrat doesn't mean you alone are preparing this event, right? You're just the person that's coordinating all of this. So you're the person who's going around and getting all the other people to do all the hard work for you. Okay?
You're the project manager, basically.
Right. Right. You know, you're the architect, you're not the builder, right? You're not out there laying brick. You're the one that is standing there with the blueprints and communicating to everybody where things go and in what order things have to go in and that sort of thing. So, you know, be that coordinator, don't be that builder.
I think also important when you have these committee meetings that a lot of people get really hyped up in the meetings and they want to make what I like to call is the false promise. I'll make sure I'll get this, or I can get this, or I can get that. Let people know, be realistic.
Yeah.
Don't get excited and say you can bring something that you can't really provide, or more likely will not be able to provide. So that's something that happens a lot in any type of project, even in business outside of SCA. You see that where people get kind of hyped up, so I can do this, this, and this, and in all reality they can't. But at the time, they just, in the excitement, they thought they could. So try to avoid those false promises, because they get really ugly in the event day when you're expecting that whatever it is to show up and it's not there.
And it really helps to know your local group. So, you know, if you know that there's somebody that kind of has that personal history of, you know, saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do this and that and this and that, and then they never produce, then just know that, you know, you might want to have a backup plan, just in case that person doesn't come up with what they said they're going to come up with. But also the flip side of that too is, you know, just because you expect, you know, Bob over here to run troll, well, you know, if Bob's never run troll before, but then, you know, you've got, you know, Siobhan over here who's run troll, you know, at every other event since the dawn of time, then, you know, maybe you'll want to have Siobhan help Bob along, you know, or maybe even turn to Siobhan and say, hey, would you mind just coordinating troll for me? You don't have to run it for the whole event, but can you just make sure that those who run it know what they're doing and have the proper forms?